Hi and welcome back. This is episode 3 of The Glory Days. I am the Dawn and we are with Fiorentina. Today is deadline day and I have only gone and made Nastasic unhappy. Being a 3-star defender, one of the older players at the squad, I went to put him on a transfer list, set him on the unwanted list, and then forgot he'd only just arrived. He was a transfer before we started the game. He's one of their transfers of this season. However, this is the second time I've now done this and trying to sell a player who has just arrived. So I was looking for a bit more than 400k, as I am actually trying to bring in 2 players. A defender at 22 years old for 5.5 million, and the winger Cabral for 8.5 million. In total, that's about 14 million. We only have 6 million. So there is going to have to be some deals going on today if we are going to secure those players. I would definitely like to get, I would like to get them both in. But we do need a defender. Our scouts came back with this player Anel Ahmed Hodzic. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's quite a tough one for me. Who is 3.5 star, what we were kind of looking for, with potential to be 4 star. Lots of good qualities. Kind of made a few errors this season, but he has started well in Sweden in the Premier. So let's hope he continues that form. Hopefully we can confirm that one today as soon as possible. We then need to try and find the money to get the winger in. I'm not sure if this was confirmed actually in the previous episode, but if you look at transfer history, already we have made 2 deals. We actually brought in Krunic, debated him for a long time, had him delayed for 2 weeks, but eventually pushed the button on his transfer to come through, and I'm happy that he did. His actual rating is a little bit better than what I was expecting. It was 3.5 star. He's expected to stick at that, but he adds that box-to-box midfielder into our midfield. We are trying to get rid of Benassi, since we have brought in Krunic, who's a like-for-like replacement, only slightly better. So he is looking at going out for 2.5 million. That raises our transfer budget up to about 8.5 million, which would be enough to just about sign the winger. But we would need to find that 5 million plus from somewhere else in the squad. Nastasic is only going to bring us in probably under $1 million to get him out. So it's not going to come from him. The other options is potentially Terracino, if we sell him, if we can try and get somewhere between 1.6 to 2.2 million, and then maybe get a loan player in to just be the backup to our main goalkeeper anyway, Dragovski, who is already labelled as our first choice, and he's only 24, so we could get someone younger just in there just to provide some cover should he get injured. So that's a couple options. Potentially that could bring us in a couple of million. We still need about 2.5, 3 million for somewhere else. None of these other players are really worth enough to bring that in, so this is going to be a tricky deadline day. I definitely don't really want to sell Biraghi. He's been on fantastic form since we started the season. You can see already 3 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. He's too good to lose. I thought about Bonaventura going because he's one of the older players again, but again he started the season on great form. 3 appearances, 1 goal, 3 assists. So it's a tricky win-up act. So we will see how this deadline day goes. We may even get some interesting agent offers, which could be a little bit cheaper for us. Party. Already we've got one which has been in our scout list. He's more of a central attacking midfielder than either wing, but definitely someone to keep an eye on. His stats look decent. We are actually in a bit of a battle anyway with other clubs for Cabral. He may choose to go somewhere else. He's got plenty of options. It'd be a shame to miss out on him. We did manage to get Januzaj in, so we do have some cover to those two roles. So it wouldn't affect us too much. It might actually help us. You can see here, the amount of clubs who are interested. Hoffenheim are the ones battling us for a signature at the moment, who've offered a lot more money. Okay, so 875 seems to be the tempting offer for two teams. I'm going to accept those, because I would like to get him out the door. We have someone, hopefully, coming in who's potentially better than him. Well, there's a surprise to deadline day. Nastasic has been blocked by the board for a transfer. We've actually missed out on the defender I was trying to bring in as well for 6.5 million. That is a huge shame, actually. We've also missed out on Jovian Cabral. Takes us back to the drawing board. I may look to simply get cover for Vlahovic instead. I'd already seen in the scout list a potential striker. There was actually two on the list which were piquing my curiosity. One was Munis the Boer, who can play in many of the same positions up front, including the pressing forward. His transfer value would be, however, somewhere between 11 and 30 million, which is what put me off. The other was Andrea Pitagna. He's more of a target man. However, I feel like he could provide a good backup. He's a strong player. He's got a little bit of pace. Good stamina as well, that we could maybe use as that role. He's also a lot cheaper. So he, for instance, somewhere up to 7.2 million. There's no one else who so far has really piqued my interest. There's some sort of good players in here. He doesn't really have the pace though, Gomez. And everyone else is just too expensive. I think we'll see if we can make a cheeky bid for Pitagna. So we could get him for about 6 million. I think that's fair enough. Yeah, so I was looking at bringing in a backup goalkeeper. So Pizarro was going to come in from Milan, which could see us selling our goalkeeper. Gonna quietly see if I can put our channel. And there has been an offer for him, so he can go. After a busy transfer deadline day, we did manage to bring in 3 more players. Alessandro Plizzari. He's only 2-star. He's essentially only a backup to our main goalkeeper, so we sold the other backup that we had. We brought in Andre Patagna from Napoli. He is a target man. He's not quite as good as Vlahovic in the pressing forward role, but he can do that role. And we'll be looking to utilise him either as a target forward or a pressing forward, depending on if we need something different. And although I was really after a defender who was, for right now, who was a 3.5 star or more, we got Rodrigo Bacau, who has great potential, 3.5 star. Same as Martinez Quarta, so they are going to be rotating. I tried to sell Nastasic as hard as I could, but he just arrived. He didn't want to leave. No clubs really seen the value in him. The board thought he was worth a lot more, at least 3.5 million. So we just couldn't get rid of him. So he's still here. He's unhappy, and there's not much we can do about it. So hopefully he cheers up over the course of the season, because we'll probably end up playing him anyway, rotating between these 4. And we'll see which ones. I'd really like to make sure that these 2 are getting as much play time and developing as possible. But essentially Milenkovic is the main guy that we need to improve. We want to try and get him to hit this potential. So on the other side, I do believe that we managed to get rid of some people. So Marco Bonassi left at the start of the window for 2.5 million. Then he was followed by our goalkeeper, Terracciano, for 1.8. And then we just managed to get these guys out on loan. Lorenzo wasn't really going to play much for us. He doesn't have that great potential. And Gentili, who does have a bit of potential, also isn't really going to play much for us this season. So we managed to get them out on loans. And that's really the roundup of where we are. So the squad looks a bit like this now. So we've got Vlahovic, we've got backup in Patagna. Gonzalez is really going to be playing out in the wing. It's his best position. We also have backup for him in Januzaj. He can play on both sides. That should allow us to potentially play Bonaventure maybe in a central role when needed. If we have to rotate between Castrovilli for any reason. We've got backup there. Defense, we have players for the future who are going to improve over the course of the season. Going to remove Igor from these positions. However, this is probably still the weak link, but I'm glad that we got backup for our forward, because he's going to get tired playing that pressing forward role. And this is also extremely weak. I just had to get someone in for the money that we had. And considering we almost completely wiped out the transfer budget, there wasn't much in the kitty at all. And we didn't have many people on our scout list who was available for loan. So we got him purely backup. So hopefully nothing happens to Tchaikovsky over this season. At least the first half of the season. And we'll try and bring in someone better who's going to develop for us rather than developing someone from Milan. Our first game after the disaster of transfer deadline day. Could we call it disaster? I think it was pretty close. Missed out on 2 of the players we really wanted. We got a couple of others, one for the future and a backup striker, and also a young backup goalkeeper. He's not really the kind of signing we want to be making for Fiorentina, especially if you're calling this the road to glory. But that's kind of where we got left after the transfer window. And we go into this match a little bit in tougher circumstances than maybe we want to, because Milenkovic has now received an injury in training, which puts him out for 10 days, which means we're going to have to bring in either the new signing Bacau or Nastasic, who is pretty unhappy. Although his morale has gone up lately. I think he's still unhappy, yep. I'm not sure about putting Bacau straight in the team. but also I don't really trust Nastasic. So, rock in a hard place. Here we go. And this is how we're going to head into this game. This is a bit of a crunch game for us against Napoli. They are a tougher opponent. We've got home advantage. Let's hope that sort of works in our favour. The squad that we're going to go with then is Tchaikovsky in goal, Biraghi on left back, Martinez Quarter, Nastasic in central defence, Odriozola right back, Torreira just sitting as a deep lying playmaker, and then we have Krunic doing his box to box midfielder role and Pulgar as a Krillo. Bonaventura again holds his place on the left inside forward, Gonzalez comes in the right, Vlahovic is the main man who we need to really get a goal again. He's already got 3 this season. We're relying on him to get something here. But we do have some backup for him now, so we can bring on Patagna when he starts to tire. And we also have Januzaj to bring on some fresh legs. We've got Bacallan also to bring on some fresh legs at the back. So let's get straight into it. Both of us got the same lineups, so this is going to be an interesting game. Napoli won both of their previous games, 6 points. We just about got a draw in a game which we were playing against the team with the red card, down 10 men later on. So again, let's see, we look to be on the front foot straight from the kickoff. Bonaventura, can he get something in? Biraghi, Bonaventura again, Krunic, Bonaventura, and a goal immediately after 20 seconds. Krunic, I debated him for 2 weeks. I put off that signing, but it'd have been a real mistake to not bring him in. That's a great goal. Again, they just work so well together, those front group. Gonzalez, I've got to say I've been disappointed with him again. 6.6, he's playing an average game. Krunic again involved for the goal. Gonzalez comes in and scores. I've just said how disappointed I was and he scored. So I'm delighted for him. Where is he? Krunic just sending that ball. That's the kind of skill set he's got. So 2-0 up against Napoli, who I was expecting a really tough game. And I don't want to regret those words. Here we go, another free kick. Biraghi, can he hit one straight in? Almost off the bar. Every time his goals, his free kicks are a threat. His corners though leave a lot to be desired. I think that's more down to the fact I haven't sorted them yet. I'd like him to be doing some sort of in-swingers rather than send them outwards. On average, we've been the better team here, but it's pretty close. We can see it's level pegging until we scored at the beginning. Napoli weren't really in the game till this point. Then it's really even Stevens. We scored again, and we've looked a bit more likely to score since then. But this is by no means out of the woods. We can see the shots as well. We've had 9, 5 on target. They've had 7, only 2 on target. That's really been the difference because attacking wise there's not much between us. Possession again, something that I'm going to have to look into because we're giving up quite a lot. It's 58% to them. Normally the gegenpressure kind of putting pressure on them, breaking up that sort of play. Hope to have a bit more possession than that. Okay, I don't want any sort of drop in performance. Going to keep up the expectations. And send the same team back out for the start of the second half. We will start to look to make changes once the players get a bit more tired. They're doing well at the moment. They've all came off at the international break. Oh, and Vlahovic has got another one. I have no idea how we're going to keep him past this season. And his wage at the moment is pathetically low. He's less than his backup striker. So 3-0 up. I think I'm going to start making changes. We have been resilient at the back in this game, which is more than I can say for us in other games. And they're in, and yep, they got one back, so it's going to make it a bit more of a competition. I think we need to make some changes. Going to do some tactical subs. Polgar has maybe gave up what he can. He's not quite he's nowhere near fully fit yet, but he can do that role more than the other people. We'll get some fresh legs just in there. So Amrabat on for Polgar. I think we'll change his role to more of a... No, we'll keep it. These two are uninspired, even though they're playing really well. Vlahovic is tired. We're going to bring on Patagna. He can get his debut. I think we have to make another sub. They're all tiring. Going to bring off Krunic. Bring on Castrovoli. Stasic. Try to build up another attack. Martinez. Out to Bragi. Can Bragi get something in here? Castrovoli, first touch. Torreira out to Amrabat. Subs combining there. Castrovoli again, back out to Braga, keeping it wide. Again back to Castrovoli, Torreira, playing it in. Bonaventura, can he get a goal? Fantastic goal. Again, the link-up play between that whole front bunch and the full-backs was fantastic. Even if it got checked off there, I would have considered that a goal. That was brilliant play. And great also to see Patagna getting in there. Target man. We haven't changed him to target man. Playing that pressing forward role. But it's his through ball that put Bonaventura on. And we've just clinched that 4-1 against Napoli. I mean, considering we couldn't win our first match against 10 men, to suddenly be 4-1 against Napoli, a tougher team, certainly makes it hopeful for the whole season ahead. We just went from strength to strength in that second half, and Napoli had nothing. That was a very good win for us. And that's helped move us above Napoli. So we now have 7 points, they have 6. You can't read too much into it after 3 games. But still to be up there where we're meant to be, fighting for the Euro Cup. Hopefully fighting for a bit more than that. Again, can't expect much better. Thanks for watching this episode, which went over our transfers and also showed the Napoli game. If you enjoyed it, please give us a big thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. Also, if you have any comments, what you'd find interesting in this series, what you'd like to see, then by all means, please do put a comment below and we'll try and do whatever we can to make this series better and make it more entertaining. And for the next episode, I'm thinking that we will show the Roma game and the Milan game. And that will give us a good glimpse of where we are, how we're starting this season really, and what turbulence is going to be. Because I have no doubt these 4-0, 3-0s, 4-1s are not going to continue. There's going to be something in there that'll be a surprise. We already have players injured, so injuries could come. I guess we're going to find out. I'll see you in the next episode.